Am I the a-hole for ignoring my dad and the new family he's made, including his other children? 18F now, haven't spoken to my dad in years, and honestly, I don't feel the slightest urge to change that. But now, with messages piling in from him, his new wife, and even some extended family, I'm starting to wonder if I'm being too cold. So here it is, everything that led to me cutting him off, and why I still don't feel bad about it. When I was 10, my little sister passed away. She was only 3 years old. Her death broke our family completely. She was born a bit premature, not super early, but early enough for there to be health concerns. She had heart and digestive complications that the doctors warned us might be serious. Still, we held out hope. My parents had fought hard for her. She was their miracle baby after years of infertility, and finally going through IVF. And then, just as it felt like we were settling into being a family of 4, she died. The official cause was a mix of complications from both her heart and her stomach. It was sudden. It was painful. And it shattered my mom. But what I didn't expect was how my dad would change. Or maybe who he truly was came to the surface. After my sister died, my father emotionally imploded and turned his pain outward. He became someone I didn't even recognize. He lashed out constantly, especially at my mom. He started blaming her for everything. Not in a vague or passive way either. He explicitly said things like, "If you hadn't insisted on going to that specialist, or you didn't do enough." He would accuse her of failing our family. He did it in front of me, too. I witnessed every cruel insult, every meltdown, every time he reduced her to tears. It wasn't like he was grieving quietly or privately. No, he weaponized his grief. He took it out on the person who was already devastated. And while I was hurting too, he didn't seem to care. His hatred for my mom was louder than any concern for how I was doing. That part really stuck with me. I needed a parent. I needed safety. Instead, I got rage. It took a toll on my relationship with him, one that could never be repaired. I started hating him, not just for how he treated my mom, but for how he abandoned being a father in every way that counted. I remember lying in bed at night thinking if he disappeared, if he just vanished one day, I wouldn't even care. That's a horrible thought for a kid, right? But it wasn't random. He earned it. Eventually, my mom filed for divorce. It wasn't peaceful. My dad dragged it out, constantly insulting her and manipulating legal proceedings. Even after the divorce was finalized, the tension didn't end. My mom had primary custody, but I still had to visit my dad. Every other weekend. Phone calls midweek. Holidays split. I dreaded it all. When I was 13, I finally told him straight up, "I hate you. I never want to see you again." That was the most freeing moment of my life. My mom supported me completely. We talked to a lawyer, and I fought to get out of visitation. It wasn't easy. The court system tried to enforce contact because children need both parents, but I didn't want a father who only brought pain. I fought hard. It wasn't until I was 15 that the court finally allowed me to stop contact entirely. I haven't spoken to him since. Now he has a new life. He got remarried a few years ago. He even has another child, maybe more, I honestly don't keep track. He sent me an invitation to his wedding. I ignored it. He sent a message when his child was born. I ignored that too. Over the years, he's kept trying. Sometimes directly, sometimes through mutual relatives, mainly 2 extended family members I still talk to. He's tried to guilt me into reconnecting. He tried to use nostalgia. He even tried acting like none of the past mattered anymore. As if time alone had wiped it all away. But I've stayed firm. I don't want a relationship with him. I don't want one with his new wife. I don't want one with his kids. I don't even want to know their names. Then recently, his new wife found me online and sent me a long DM. She said my dad never stopped loving me. That I had to understand he was just grieving when he treated my mom the way he did. She said I needed to stop punishing him for something that wasn't entirely his fault. She asked me, begged me, really, to consider her child. Said it wasn't fair for them to grow up never knowing their big sister. That they're innocent, and I'm the only one keeping them from having a chance at a family bond. I left her on read. After that, one of the relatives who still talks to my dad called me selfish. They said I was weaponizing my pain, and that I was doing exactly what I claimed my father had done, hurting innocent people because of my own wounds. They told me it was time to heal. That I needed to forgive for the sake of the children who didn't choose any of this. But here's the thing. I didn't choose it either. I didn't choose to lose my sister. I didn't choose to be stuck in a house full of screaming and verbal abuse. I didn't choose to grow up watching my mom be broken down day after day. I didn't choose to spend my childhood begging for peace and getting silence in return. So no, I don't feel guilty for setting a boundary. I don't feel sorry for staying away. And I definitely don't feel obligated to form a bond with my half-siblings. They are not my responsibility. I don't owe them a relationship just because we share DNA. I'm not their big sister. I never was, and I never will be. So now, with all of this pressure and guilt coming at me again, I'm here asking, am I the whole? Because I feel solid in my decision, but when people call you heartless enough times, you start to question if you're just protecting yourself or being unfair to people who weren't even there when the damage was done. I don't know if I'm the villain. I just know I'm tired of pretending like I owe love or forgiveness to someone who ruined what was left of my childhood.